Like a poem said by a lady in red, you hear the last few words of your life. I'm scared. Let's see what this one's all about. I love being surprised every time Lady Gaga puts out something new. There are few artists that do that for me. Ren is definitely one of them. Ado is another one. But I'm excited to be surprised again.
The category is dance or die.
You know who's another artist? And the costume just reminded me of it, too. And Lady Gaga's been doing this for a long time. Chinchilla has some elaborate costumes and hats and stages performances like this as well. If you haven't checked out Chinchilla, you totally should. The clouds. It's a little bit of a swallowed sound. She's demonstrating, like she does a lot, that sometimes unconventional singing and out of context, somewhat goofy tones can be really beautiful when you use them tastefully. Let's see where she goes with her placement here. Keep your mind on the distance when the devil turns around. Husky, right? Turns around. Hold me in your heart tonight in the magic of the dark moonlight. And then she brightens it. She brings it forward, brings it into the mask. So it's important to note here that she's not singing in the mask the whole time. She's experiencing variety in her resonance through a variety of placements. Listen to how she brightens this up for the chorus. It's so cool. Turns around. Around and then hold! It's not just that she's singing a higher note, it's that she's brightening instead of darkening, slightly swallowing or bringing it forward and brash and bright. To taste, though. Tonight in the magic of the dark moonlight, save me from this empty fight. In the game of life, like a poem said. Love those tight harmonies. You can't really tell if they're probably her that they've been vocal-lined and time corrected and ratcheted down with pitch correction, but it's part of the effect. But it sounds pretty close to what a vocoder would do. I'd love for her to release a production video like she did on some of her other songs. Life, not life, like she was earlier. With a haunting dance, now you're both in a trance. It's time to cast your spell on the night. Abracadabra, amor, una, abracadabra, orta, Gaga. Epic hook. Abracadabra, abra, una, in a tongue she said, therefore love tonight. It's pop music, it's dancing, it's all the things that we've grown to love over the decades, and she's putting up a dark, quirky, uncomfortable twist on it like she does so well. It's amazing how many expressions she's able to embody within just a few seconds. I realize there's lots of editing going on with the cameras, but there are so many visual characters that she projects, and she does that with her voice too, and how she places it, and how she plays with it, even with simple melodies like this. I love that little sigh out of Tonight. Listen. Tonight. Feel the beat.
Choose the road on the west side as the dust flies. Watch it burn.
I think with an artist like Lady Gaga, it's easier to see how playfulness encourages interest in the voice because she's doing so much visually, because she's kind of fringy in how she approaches her voice even. Like there's some obvious things that if someone else were doing it without this character that she's projecting would seem out of place or goofy. But that shouldn't stop us from exploring the fringes of our voices. What's possible with our voice? We can only get there if we're not so concerned about being good at singing, if we're not so concerned about hitting notes. She's clearly not concerned about that. She's putting on a presentation. She's telling a story with all of these characters, and those characters are coming out not only visually, but through how many ways she's using and engaging with her voice. I just have to mention that there's lots and lots of autotune or pitch correction, whatever, on this main line. And I am sad that it's kind of this expectation that great vocalists are ratcheted down with autotune. Now, having said that, a lot of her live performances that she does in, I think, her home studio are not tuned. And it is so fun to hear the really produced and arranged piece. It's an art form unique to itself, but I like that we get to hear both. Lots of artists, we don't get to hear both. Sometimes we're just stuck with all the tuning.
Save me from this empty void. In the game of life, like a poem said by a lady in red, you hear the last few words of your life.
There's the line that I read at the beginning. Fun to see it materializing in the video. Awesome zombie dancing.
Abracadabra, abracadabra, abracadabra.
And just from a choreography standpoint, I'm not a dancer, nor do I know much about dancing at all, but just an observation. It's really cool how they went from this uncontrolled zombie, kind of flailing thing, and then it turned into very controlled robotic movements. And noticing how that follows what's happening in the beat, even what's happening a little bit vocally, it's really interesting and so cool how they were able to plan that. It shows a grand vision that this artist has for every song she releases. So many things are tied together, right? We got this kind of robot-sounding bass. We got the 4 on the floor thing coming in, and they're making order from what was chaos, and the dancing perfectly represents that, even in this weird offbeat kind of way. And the contrast, there's so much that goes into the storytelling here. We got that. And the differences in movements there, right? The evil black, red, how they're moving. It's not just their facial expressions, like the movements embody the colors. It also reminds me of something that every great singer does, although she does it way more than most. Great singing is musical acting. Great performing is musical acting. That's what separates the person with a really good voice who can do things technically well and the one that is able to create whole worlds of musical ideas with their voice and things connecting to and with their voice. You could also look at it sort of like an artist versus a student or a teacher. Beautiful, beautiful approach on that note. I love the warbly delay she's got on her voice with those darker notes. They've got those notes keyed off of the percussion in the kick drum. That's why you hear them pulsing. That's a really cool effect. Wouldn't have expected to hear that here, but the way that the bass is moving and the way that it's gone to this definitive 4 on the floor type groove, that makes sense. It's just interesting hearing it with these kind of somber sounding vocals. Yeah, so that's not necessarily her singing an inverse rhythm to the kick drum. That's her singing full notes. And then they've got a compressor that turns on, and the threshold brings the volume of that voice down in rhythm with the kick drum. That is super cool and really surprised me. That's like the actual sound in the room. So we've gone from this extremely produced thing to what's happening now. Oh, what a break! What a break! What a shock that is to your system, especially in headphones. If you haven't listened to this song in headphones yet, do. The stereo image grows like crazy during that section. She's taken the foundation of artists like Michael Jackson and really had fun with it in her own way. This is music, entertainment, and creativity on quite the scale. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, she always surprises me. She's always throwing in things that are artistically beautiful and uncomfortable and surprising. It's so fun. I'm glad we can experience new releases like this still in 2025. Be sure to check out this playlist for lots of other Lady Gaga vocal analysis videos I've done on this channel. And if you'd like to learn how to use your voice in freeing and exploratory, unconventional ways that unlock all sorts of sounds and connections you never knew were there, click the link below in the pinned comment or video description and join my free singing course. We'll see you for more.